Hey everybody, this is Brian and welcome to the 12th Python tutorial. We're just going to dive right in here. Today we're going to be talking about the path object. So first thing we need to do is import OS, or if you want to actually do it the correct way, you do from OS import path. Now what's the difference between those two? If you just do import OS, you can then do os dot whatever, which in this case would be os dot path, and then whatever command you want. But if you specifically import path from OS, you can then say path, that was embarrassing, path dot whatever. So that's really the difference between those two. So we're just going to say from OS import path, and we're going to actually get a path object here. So we're going to say print and %s, whoops, having troubles with my keyboard here. We're going to get the current directory here. Now if we run this, it's just going to print a little dot. Yep, the current directory is dot. And if you're not familiar with the dot notation, basically dot is always your current directory and dot dot is the parent directory. But we want to actually expand that and figure out what that really is. So let's try this. Print, and we're going to say abs path, or absolute path, is %s, and let's just go. So we're just going to say path, absolute path, and then we're just going to give it the current directory that we're in and just see what it prints out here. And we're currently in my home directory. I'm on Linux, so you'll see these slashes. If you're on Windows, you'll see like C program files or C users or wherever you're at. And that's kind of the beauty of Python, is it's very much cross-platform. Now we're just going to get the name. So we're going to say dir name. Run that, and you see the dir name is blank. That's not good. So let's get the base name from this. And the base name is of course dot, because that's our current directory. So I don't want you to get thrown off if you see, curdir is returning a dot. Now if we actually take this and make a variable, let's say, and let's actually make a string literal here. And to do that, you put an R in front of it. The reason why you would make a string literal is if you're like on Windows and you do this like C program files, yada yada yada, whatever, blah blah blah. Each one of those slashes, if it's not a string literal, will be interpreted as what's called an escape character. Like /p, I don't remember what that is, but if it was like /t, that'd be a tab. /r would be, hard return new line. The only way around that would be to double escape them, where you do // which, gets kind of frustrating. Or you would just, make it a string literal by putting the R in front of it. I'm on a Linux machine, so don't really have to worry about it much, but I'll do it anyways. And we're just going to replace curdir with this, just so we can see the difference of what it's going to do. You see, now we have a base name, a dir name, and an absolute path. So that's really the difference between current directory and when you hard code a path. Sometimes curdir is not your friend, and I just wanted you to be aware of that. We're going to really quickly finish up this tutorial. We're going to do exist, isdir, and isFile. So let's do so I don't know if there's any gamers out there, but I bought Skyrim Legendary Edition for like 15 bucks on Steam, so I've been playing that. It's a lot more than what I thought it was going to be. It's actually pretty in-depth. And let's say isFile. And what these commands are going to do here, they're pretty self-explanatory, but I'll go over them real quick. You got your absolute path. Let's actually run this. Okay, you got your absolute path, which as you can see is that. Your dir name, which is just your directory name. The directory, or the parent directory I should say, the base name is the name of the current file or directory that you're in. Yes, it exists. That's very handy when you get into file operations. You want to make sure that file exists or doesn't exist. And then determine if it's a directory or a file. Whew. Well, that's pretty much all for this tutorial. Pretty easy one, but very important information that you should definitely understand. For the source code for this and other tutorials, visit my website, voidrealms.com, and we've got much more coming in the future.